Without wasting your time, we are going to share top 5 best 4-season tent for backpacking. The product links are in the description and in first comment. The number 5 on the list is Jeer Top Person Tent for Camping. Jeer Top Person Tent for Camping. First time leaving a review for any product. Set the tent up in the backyard to see how it went together. I was confused when I realized I had to put the poles through the rain. Fly. The instructions are in Chinese but have pictures. Afterwards I became excited with the possibility of using the fly without the tent. This will work great on the snow. The skirt around the fly can be sealed with snow attaching. The tent was quick and easy using the toggles attached to the rings under the fly. In a rainstorm you can take down the tent without exposing it to the rain. All the tent floor seams are sealed as well as the fly seams. The stakes are aluminum angled as a whole. The tent system feels heavy. I will carry it in my bulk. I will replace the stakes for snow ones since the tent will be used for winter outings. Here in the rest of the year I use a hammock. I'm sleeping in it tonight. No snow yet, but I'm hopeful. I've used the setup with and without the tent attached to the fly. I like using the fly by itself. I've used it on 4 winter outings so far. I dropped my star rating because of one of the pole sections breaking when setting it up this last trip. The pole along the front has been a struggle to attach, and this time the pole didn't like the tension. I have been planning on taking an inch off the end but waited too long. The temp was degrees not the coldest I've set the tent up, and I was lucky that it was only the pole for the vestibule. Taking the fly only and using deadman to anchor the tent helps to cut down on the weight. Plenty of room for me and my gear. Seems like a great all-around tent. I took it out for a day-night stay at one of the primitive sites in Caprock Canyon State Park in January. The first night dropped 2 with moderate winds. The next day's had winds with some rain overnight. The last night was beautiful with a slight breeze, and over the first night was pretty chilly, but I had the proper clothes on, an insulated sleep pad and a sleeping bag, so I was able to get some relatively comfortable sleep. I did spray the seams with additional waterproofing before going out. The tent held up to the crazy winds. I stayed dry through the rain. I did notice the vestibule flaps did draw moisture up, but I did not have a problem with condensation in the main compartment. One downside is the zipper to the vestibule. It fought opening and closing but did its job with some struggle. The number 4 on the list is White Duck Regatta Canvas. White Duck Regatta Canvas. I bought the Bell style tent. I wanted a good canvas tent that I could heat with a wood stove for winter camping and that was also easy for one person to set up. This one fit the bill. I would say it's plenty room for people in the wood stove if you want to be comfortable and have a little room. I'm very pleased with the construction and quality of materials. It's fairly simple to set up once you do it once. No problem doing it yourself. Everything fits in the storage bags they include and comes with good tent stakes and even a mallet to pound them in with. I would recommend this tent and would buy again. This tent is part of my apocalypse survival arsenal. I also got the Winter Well Nomad medium wood burning tent stove to cook with and provide heat during the upcoming dark winters ahead. This tent exceeded all my expectations. Setting it up is relatively simple and by myself only took minutes. This size is extremely roomy. I can stand up fully inside. The canvas is good quality and it's extremely well made. I've only used it once for nights in the Oregon sand dunes. I didn't have my stove at that point, but I'm looking forward to using both together very soon. The only thing I would warn about is that when it's all rolled up in its carrying bag it's pretty heavy, but I can't stress enough how amazing the quality is. The number 3 on the list is MSR Access Person Lightweight. MSR Access Person lightweight outdoor equipment manufacturers constantly are pushing the limits of weight and weather protection, but seasoned tents designed to withstand harsh conditions still tend to fall on the heavy side of the spectrum. Access series, on the other hand, brings minimalism to the season world with stripped-down tents designed specifically with tree-line winter camping and backcountry touring in mind, with the 3-person version coming in at a feathery pounds-ounces. The tent had us excited but with slight trepidations. What we found after several backcountry ski trips in the Whistler backcountry and our local North Shore mountains is that the access serves as an excellent winter base camp and punches well above its weight class. Below we break down the access's weight, weather protection, ventilation, interior space and storage, build quality and more. To see how the access stacks up, see our article on the best season tents. To be sure, there are design sacrifices in achieving this low weight. Both the tent and rainfly use a relatively thin denier nylon ripstop while the floor is denier. For comparison, the North Face mountain has a denier canopy and rainfly and a much burlier denier floor. In addition, the rainfly coverage of the access doesn't quite extend fully to the ground and the eastern cyclone poles are quite flexible. All that being said, the access hits a really nice balance for those who want comfort and adequate protection for most winter ski trips without the heft of a true mountaineering tent. Despite many tent options in our gear closet, we brought the access on 2 lengthy treks in the high Andes of Peru. The number 2 on the list is Amaya 4-season backpacking. Amaya 4-season backpacking, very compact and light enough to carry comfortable, not an extreme lightweight tent. Recently camped when the temps dropped to the lower 20s and the flaps on the fly really helped keep the wind out. Very easy to set up and take down. Bought this to go camping year round and I'm sure it will great in the summer with the open netting surrounding the tent. The vestibule areas are plenty of room for storage of extra gear and exiting the tent before opening the rainfly. Haven't experienced wet weather yet but can definitely tell the sewn seams are sealed and there is definitely degree coverage with the rainfly. I would recommend this tent looking for a good all-season tent. The tent is very easy to set up and the large vestibules are great for storing gear. We use a tarp over our tent so I can't really say how rainproof it is. We got comments that the rainfly looks too big, just stake it out and set deer guidelines and go with it. We put 2 blow-up air pads inside easily. This tent, while small, was perfect for my last camping trip. It was easy to set up and the full rainfly provided extra privacy. The weekend was dry so I am not able to comment on the waterproof effectiveness of the tent. However, everything else the manufacturers said about the tent is true. For the price, the tent is rock solid. I was extremely impressed with the company's customer service. I received the tent promptly but it came with a regular fly, not the one with flaps to pack snow on. I contacted the company and after a couple of emails they said they would send a new tent and apologized for the error. I cannot believe it came like 2 days later. This tent withstood a massive rainstorm with rain then stayed dry in a foot of snow. It fit my low-laying cot well. It is a great winter camping tent and a good size for backpacking and easy to set up. I highly recommend. The number 1 on the list is Jeer top 2-person tent for camping. Jeer top 2-person tent for camping. I am Alaska night camp every Sunday in the forest, even in the winter. Especially in the winter, you should first test this out at home and get the assembly quick and easy. Took me minutes, unusual but easy setup. One thing I did not like was putting up the fly before the tent, but in theory it is more secure. It's quite room. The gear loft is minute and there are no other storage pockets so you must put your gear outside in the snow. Like the double zipper door, easy to vent, tall, which is good, traps heat but has 2 vents for condensation. The material it is made with is quite nice. The seams are taped. One nice thing about it being quite tall for a tent was the fact I could partially bury it in snow to insulate it like an igloo. The floor was also thicker than I expected, which is really nice. The poles are sturdy, thin and a little heavy. It did the job quite well and for less than I am used to paying. Good deal. First time leaving a review for any product, set the tent up in the backyard to see how it went together. I was confused when I realized I had to put the poles through the rainfly. The instructions are in Chinese but have pictures afterwards. I became excited with the possibility of using the fly without the tent. This will work great on the snow. The skirt around the fly can be sealed with snow attaching The tent was quick and easy using the toggles attached to the rings under the fly. In a rainstorm you can take down the tent without exposing it to the rain. All the tent floor seams are sealed as well as the fly seams. The stakes are aluminum angled as a whole. The tent system feels heavy. I will carry it in my pulk. I will replace the stakes for snow ones since the tent will be used for winter outings. Here in the rest of the year I use a hammock. I'm sleeping in it tonight. No snow yet, but I'm